Well, hello everyone. We meet again today on this Friday for some more reptile news. Now we're going to start off today in Abbotsford, where Abbotsford police apparently got a call of a large snake stalking a man's chickens, and apparently they thought, chickens in the middle of town are weird, let alone a large snake in the middle of the town. But police arrived and they did find a large albino python that appeared to be threatening the chickens. They believed that it belonged to a nearby neighbor, and they eventually contacted a neighbor who had a pet albino python escape. He knew it had gotten out, but he didn't know it had gotten out of the house, and apparently, he caught it without incident. No snake, people, chickens, anything is hurt. This is a story that people like us love to hear. He caught it, brought it back home. Unfortunately, it could be fortunate or unfortunate, but the code enforcement was notified so they can investigate the legality of having the snake there. So no word yet if it's legal or illegal in Abbotsford to have a large albino python, but I'm sure we'll hear about it in the coming days. And next we have a story that is kind of sad, but should be a huge wake-up call to everybody, not just in the country where it happened, which is Australia, but it should be a wake-up call to us here in America about our snake laws. Now you see, Australia's DEC got a tip-off from somebody about some snakes, and they did a raid or whatever they call it over there in the house, and they did find carpet python, king snakes, milk snakes, boas, and everything. And the carpet python is native to Australia. I'm not sure whether they're going to release it, send it to a zoo or something, I'm not sure, but all other exotic species that were kept in the house are being euthanized because of their threat to Australia's habitat. Now this all happened in Perth, and Western Australia's DEC says that the exotic snakes are not legal to have in the state. So you see, it's not just when laws are broken like that, it's not just you that might get hurt, but these snakes are being destroyed now because of their risk. And if it's anything over the years that I've learned about Australian law, wildlife law, if you will, is that they're very, very, very serious about it, or at least that's my understanding. So don't break the law. And moving on from there to a little bit happier story, but also something that really got me thinking. And that is right back here to America, where in southern Florida, apparently some American crocodiles, it's hatching season down there, and apparently there's a nuclear power plant that has some cooling ponds, and they say that, with the nuclear facility, which could be so detrimental to nature in its own under certain circumstances, apparently these American crocodiles are thriving in these cooling ponds there at this nuclear facility. And they're saying actually now the American crocodile is no longer on the endangered list, but now they're on the threatened list. And apparently some people are hired by the place that runs the facility to come out there and study the animals, and they capture them and tag them for life and recapture them and measure them and track their movements and everything. And this really got me thinking about the whole science portion of conservation, or anything really. I understand. Number one, let's keep in mind that I am not a scientist. I see a lot that they do. I read some of what they do. To be honest, I don't understand some of the big words they use, so I don't read everything. But anyway, that being said, as I sit here and look at all of the studies that go on with wildlife and everything, I can't help but wonder why. Is it really necessary? The American crocodile was not threatened before people came along and started killing them and destroying their habitat. Just about any of the animals that are threatened, endangered, or have gone extinct have done so by our hand. So why do we feel so strongly about keeping our hands in these things? Why can't we just take a step back and let Mother Nature take care of her inhabitants? And I understand there has to be conservation for, or maybe scientific efforts for habitat rehabilitation making sure there is enough habitat for these animals. But as far as the habitat, if they have the habitat, if they have the food, if they have the shelter, if they have what they need, I personally think that to a great extent, us as people should just back off, assuming they have everything they need. Now, of course, there are some species that do not have what they need, and I understand there are some species that are a lot more at risk, I guess you could say, and need a lot more attention to continue their kind into the future. But I really look at a lot of the science that's going on nowadays, and I don't understand why. Why can't we just back off and let them be their thing? I mean, it's the same theory. Okay, we're going to go completely off topic here, but bear with me, please, because it'll make some sense in the end. My father has always said that the debate on the existence of extraterrestrials is going to be an ongoing debate forever. And the reason why is because I think you would have to be extremely naive, this is him talking, but I believe this as well, to think that out of all of this space and time that we're the only ones here. Obviously there's a higher intelligence somewhere out there. That higher intelligence, however, sees how we are and knows that if it came too close, that us being human beings, we have no choice but to just take it and cut it into little pieces and try to understand it. We can't just leave it alone and let it do its thing. And so there, hopefully you understand the little story there. Anyway, that has been all your news for this Friday. If you'd like to read any more about these stories, that link's right down below here in the description. And as always, if you're still watching, my name is Jason White, and now you know what's going on in the reptile world. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next time.